Okay, so I'm Ron Collman. I'm the State Soil Scientist with Natural Resources Conservation Service, and we're at one of the soil pits, an outdoor classroom that we helped fund at the University of Illinois Arboretum with Dr. Kevin McSweeney. What we have here is one of the 560 different types of soil that we have identified in Illinois. This is like a Dana silt loam. It's been a little bit disturbed. You see a little bit of discoloration up here, and what we do is we can recognize that because there's a difference in color. But in general, a Dana, the concept of Dana, it's a mollisol. It was formed under prairie vegetation, so it's got that thick, dark surface. And then it's 20 to 40 inches over glacial till. So down here you'll start to see the pebbles, and you've got glacial till down below. So this soil, we look at the soil and we see that it is moderately well drained. We start to get a little bit of gray colors coming in above 40 inches here. It's been very dry. It's been raining here a couple of days, but it's very dry. You see the organic matter goes down the worm channels. There's a lot of worm channels in this soil. It's been under forested vegetation for a while. And when we look at it, we describe these soils in horizons. Basically, we can see color changes and we can see material changes. And you can look at where these horizon breaks are based on the soil structure, based on the soil color. And when we look at these soils, we'll look at them and we look at the good structure that you see, granular structure and a good organic matter. It's got high organic matter because it's dark, and you see good structure in the soil. And a lot of that structure is because of the biology that is here, the natural biology that's here. So we'll look at this. We identify the colors using a color book. On the surface, we'll look at the colors. You'll see how dark that is. It's a 10 wire 2-1. It's really dark. Usually when it's dark like that, it's very high in organic matter content. Yeah. Munsell has been around since the 1800s. Came up with this big spectrum of colors. We use specific colors for soils. There's specific pages usually that we use. In Illinois, a lot of times we spend a lot of our time on the 7.5 YR page, on the 10 YR page, and the 2.5 Y page. If it's very wet soils, we might go to one of the gley pages where you see these green and blue colors. After the glaciers melted away, they deposited their silts out into the floodplains and out into the outwash plains out in front of the ice. And winds picked up that dust and blanketed Illinois, and that's one of the reasons that Illinois has such fertile soils across the state. The soils develop and they form what's called an argillic horizon. So what happens is it rains, clays and organic matter move in and down, and what you'll have is the clays move down and we get what's called a clay bulge down here in the argillic horizon, so that you've got a clay pickup. So up here you'll get, it's a silt loam texture. We can texture it between our thumb and fingers, and we can tell how much sand, silt, and clay is in the soil. So this one is about 24% clay, and Peoria Lust, the windblown material, doesn't usually have very much sand in it. So this only has a negligible amount, maybe 3%. Down here in this glacial till, this material, this was pushed out of the ice, the glacial ice, when it was here. And then the farther we get, the farther down we go, the more dense it becomes. At some point, this material here was kind of washy till. It came out from below the ice or beyond the ice or kind of washed off of the ice. And this material down here that's very dense, this material was underneath the ice. This is what we call dense till. And this material will perch a lot of the water up on top of it because it's so hard.